Johnny Cash was born in a small town in Kingsland, in southern Arkansas. He was born February 26, 1932. His parents struggled to feed their 7 children, especially during the Great Depression. But in the evenings when the day's chores were done, the Cash family gathered in front of their porch, and Johnny's mother Carrie used to play the guitar. The whole family would sing hymns and traditional tunes. Johnny loved his mother's playing and singing, and he was entranced by the country and gospel singers he heard on his uncle's battery-powered radio. By 12, he was already writing poems, songs, and stories. So fast forwarding ahead a little bit, in 1954 he signed to Sun Records label owned by Sam Phillips. Sam had also signed and discovered people like Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, etc. Sam was impressed with what he'd heard from Johnny Cash and knew that Johnny was something special. And he was right. Johnny, like many artists and musicians, struggled with drug abuse and just being out of control in the 1960s, but later that decade he successfully fought his addiction with the help of singer June Carter Cash, who he married in 1968. As most people know, June and Johnny had a very fiery relationship and struggled, but they always stuck together. She helped him. She saved him, and in ways he saved her, and they're buried together today. She actually passed away from complications after heart surgery, and he died just a little bit later, I think 3 or 4 months, from complications from diabetes. But anyone who has seen the movie about June and Johnny, it's really interesting. But Johnny and June had a real love story, and they definitely were soulmates. Johnny was also married to his first wife, Vivian. So today we check out where Johnny Cash lived on his gorgeous estate in Hendersonville, and where him and June are laid to rest, not far away from there.
But this is where he lived. See if we can see. Yeah, here's the historical marker. The Cash home, referred to as Nature's House. Builder Braxton Dixon designed the Cash home. Rugged beauty existed with open rafters, barn boards, and wall of native limestone. 14,000, wow, square foot home overlooked Old Hickory Lake with panoramic views and gardens that stretched across the property. Here, Johnny and June Carter Cash entertained family, friends, and neighbors for 35 years. The Cash home also served as a retreat for fellow musicians to gather and compose music with one another until until the 2003 deaths of Johnny and June Carter Cash. And this was placed by the Tennessee Historical Commission. But just look at this, and you can't go in, it's private property, obviously. But I'm just going to kind of hold the camera up and kind of give you an idea of what we're seeing here. This place is magnificent. The stonework is amazing all up through here. But check this out. And you can see it all the way up through there too. Beautiful place. Absolutely beautiful. I love the stonework. Go over here, see if I can. We're working on something. Looks like they've got some contractors doing something here. But wow, look at that. This is amazing. Wow. Never thought I'd be doing this kind of stuff, you know? The whole YouTube thing. It's just wild. You know, you kind of have an inkling of where you're going and what you're doing and all this kind of stuff. But then when you get there, it's totally different, and you know, you're just kind of going where the wind blows you.
I'm not sure who owns this property, but I think it's Johnny Carter Cash, who is their son. But it did burn down in 2007 under the ownership of Barry Gibbs, who was in the Bee Gees. But it looks like they're doing some renovations now. But I do know that Roy Orbison had property here at 189, where this is 166. No, wait, I'm sorry. Roy Orbison had a home at 166, and it burnt down, claiming his two young sons' lives. And Johnny Cash bought the property from him, but Roy Orbison said that he had to promise that he'd never build on it, and he never did, and they still never have. They've respected that. So,
how you doing? Beautiful piece of property, isn't it?
It is pretty. Doesn't get much better.
No doubt. You really don't get much better than that, do you?
So it says that Mama Cash lived across the street from the mansion, but that doesn't necessarily look like the picture online.
Yeah, there's one there and one there. Looks like there's another one right up there with the big fence around it. That could be it. We'll run on up here in a second and kind of get a better view of the layout. See the lake too. I'm sure that the camera, you know, the GoPro does good video, guys, but y'all know how this stuff is. It's when you're standing there looking at it, a camera does not do it justice, even a really good camera. This place is breathtaking.
I mean, all I really have to do is, because I'm not gonna.
It says Mama Cash's home, built in 1963, is located 185. Was it Cadill Drive?
Caudle. Yeah, there's a 205 there.
So
back that way just a half.
We'll check that out on the way out.
Yeah.
So this is the house that Johnny Cash bought for his parents. They call it the Mama Cash home, but I believe it's been sold. It's 185, street number 185. It's been sold outside of the family at this point, I believe. Looks really peaceful. It's got a swing and some kind of building just right on the lake. So in 1968, while Roy Orbison was on tour, he had a house fire which killed two of his sons. This was shortly after he had lost his 24-year-old wife in a tragic motorcycle accident while they were on vacation, and she died in his arms. But this is right next to Johnny Cash's property that burned down in 2007. But Johnny Cash did buy this property from Roy Orbison under the agreement that he would never build on it. So they turned it into an orchard, which is still used and maintained by the Cash family to this day. It says the orchard, this pristine site overlooking Old Hickory Lake, had its roots in tragedy. In 1968, Johnny Cash's good friend Roy Orbison sold him the land after the fire destroyed his home and took two of his three sons' lives. Cash promised Orbison never to build on the site when the abundant fruit trees and grapevines that flourished were maintained personally by the Cash family. The orchard came to fruition.
I remember Mom,
Because there's a low battery.
when Mom was young, she was a huge fan of Johnny Cash and June Carter. You know, and I like some of his songs. Burning Ring of Fire, I like that one. When the Man Comes Around, that's a really good one. And of course Hurt, not to mention, you know, he had a bunch of really good ones. It's kind of hard to imagine. Like I said, you know, you hear about all these, you hear about, you know, Johnny Cash all of your life, and to be standing at his grave and to know that Johnny Cash is literally just a few feet away is amazing. Very rare, but I'm at a loss for words. Here we are. Rest in peace.
Happiness is being at peace, being with loved ones, being comfortable, but most of all, it's having those loved ones. Johnny Cash.
Hard to get it right, isn't it? Wow. Man in Black, Heather.
So his grave said, "Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer." And June says, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, with all that is within me, bless his holy name." And I assume this is, I'll have to look it up. Joanne Cash, Will You Meet Me in Heaven? Dr. Harry, One More Soul for Jesus. Together forever, married 50 years.
Did one on each. Pay our respects. You know, for just to pay your respects that you visited someone.
Dale Mathis, 1957-1889. I know, so June Carter's mom is buried here, who was also in music. And this is Johnny Cash's sister, who did her own music, Reba Cash Hancock, 1938 to 2006. I waited for you, now you have to come for me. And she wrote music and played music as well. It's all a musical family on both sides. Johnny Cash met June Carter when they did a tour together, and he did a tour with her family, the Carters, while they were on tour. It's kind of ironic, you know, Johnny Cash's song Hurt, the Hurts are back here. John Hurt, Gladys Hurt. Okay, here's June's mom. Okay, wait. I'll put this up, who they are. Anita Carter, 1933 to 1999. On tour with the Angels, I am safe in the knowledge that I am his child. So these are June's family. Mother Maybelle Carter, so that would be June's mom. The first lady of country music, God has picked his wild wood flower. Then Ezra Carter would be her father. He feasted daily upon the word of God and carried it always in his heart. So over here is Merle Kilgore. He actually helped write the song with Johnny Cash's sister of
Ring of Fire.
Burning Ring of Fire. but he also wrote, you know, other songs and was a big deal in his own right. It said Merle Kilgore, 1935 to 2005. Are you kidding me? I've made the biggest deal of all. Here lies a beautiful dreamer, singer, songwriter, entertainer, and loved by all.
He sounds like it, doesn't he?
It looks like he had a big personality. And he's got a little stand over there that says Merle Kilgore on it. So he's buried within eye shot of Johnny and June, and even Reba, who he helped write the song with. So I was actually telling my sister yesterday, I get a little jealous of people that are all buried together. You know, I mean, I get they're not there anymore, but when you see a mother, a father, sister, brother, children, grandparents, there's just some kind of beauty in all being laid to rest together, to me personally. And it's something that I'll never experience because all my family wants to be cremated, and that's a personal choice, but I still think about it. You know, in the very end, it'll either just be me and a headstone, or me and Leo and a headstone. So it's just something that, you know, you have to deal with. But it's sad to me. These are neat, these little, the way they're doing modern grave markers lately. This black with the etching. Hope and peace at the end of the day. That's what keeps me going. And you take it all in grace. Like a big.
Just wanted to show y'all this one real quick. This is something really cool. This is the Faith Cremation Garden. Look at this. It's a heart-shaped stone with the ashes inside. That
I've never heard of a cremation garden.
Is awesome.
Have you ever heard of a cremation garden?
No. This is the first time I'd ever heard of. That is really cool, though. We should do that. Of course, our luck, the stone would get something happen to it.
Something can happen to all of it eventually, but
yeah,
it's just
that's true. Eventually, it's
you have to do something with yourself legally.
Yeah. Someday someday everything will be gone. Just a matter of time, isn't it?
Yeah. We feel like, you know, I mean, what's this world gonna be like in 1,000 years?
Yeah.
None of this is gonna even matter. Do you think?
Probably not.
But it matters now, and that's the point. It matters to people like them that are looking at Johnny Cash's grave, and us, and it matters to family who can come visit their loved ones. And you know, time is all relevant to how you perceive it. So
it's true.
if it matters now, it matters now.